Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so nervous actually. I've never done this before. I've never sat in front of a camera and just started. I'm like, I have, but like that's on like my stories and my Snapchat, not on YouTube. So I'm kind of shy and I don't even know. I also just think that like it's it's so awkward. Anyway, um hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kisoko. For those who don't know me, if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for the support that you've been showing me. Thank you for clicking on this video and coming back to support me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I hope you brought a friend, and if you're new here, I hope you like what you see and you decide to stay. Guys, so I think it's been like a little over a month since I started my channel, and I think I'm like at like 200 subscribers. And yeah, so, and obviously I could have never done that alone. I can't subscribe to my channel, so thank you guys for that. Or yeah. And okay, I feel, to be honest, I just feel like I need to have like an actual intro for my video, so that like you click on my video and you're like you know what I'm gonna say, you know what I mean? But it's fine, it's whatever. So today we're gonna talk about this is my first sit down video, and I want to talk about the culture shocks that I've experienced ever since I came to Australia. And not just the culture shocks, and just like a little update on like how I'm doing, and like how I've been adjusting to life here, and like just the things that bother me and stuff. So this is gonna be, it's gonna be quite lengthy, but I hope you still decide to stay and watch it. Yeah, watch the full video. And while we are here, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. And if you haven't watched my previous videos, go back and watch them and like them and leave a comment. And yeah, also like this one as well. Thanks. Anyway, okay, I have them here on my iPad. I'm gonna just like start talking about them. I want to start with something like one, the weather in Australia. I can't speak for Australia as a whole because because I'm only in Melbourne. And when I tell you that, like, obviously before I came here, I did my research, and they did say that Australian Melbourne weather, like, you'll experience 4 seasons at the same in the same day. Like within a day there'll be 4 seasons. And I just used to think, ah, they're exaggerating. Guys, when I tell you, they're telling you the truth. Right now you can see I'm kind of in the sun. I actually don't know if the lighting here is good. I'm kind of in the sun. It's windy outside, and best believe it's going to rain today, and then it's going to be warm again. Like, it's just a lot. So when you leave your house, be sure to carry your umbrella, be sure to have a jacket, because you just never know how it's going to be. So I think the weather here has just kind of been, and when I left home, it's like I left home when it was winter, and I came here, it was winter, because it kind of matches. But now at home it's hot and it's still cold here, so I'm struggling. Winter's been lasting for too long for my liking. But anyway, the second thing, number 2 on my list, is the transport system here. It's quite different. You have trams, and if you don't know what a tram is, it's like a tiny little train that like is on the road, like with the cars. So they have a track on the road. It's not huge, it's not as big as a train, but like that's the best way I can describe it. So they use trams here, they use buses, and they use trams, buses, and trains. Yes, and trains. And what you do is when you go on these, you have to have a card. It's called a Mikey, and that's where like you put your money. So you go to like a 7-Eleven, and then you put money in the Mikey, and then when you get in the transport system, you tap on, then you tap off when you get off, and that's how they charge you. And if you don't, and then the tram police catch you, okay, and there's no time for explaining, they'll just ask you like your details and they'll fine you. And that's a story that I heard. I have not experienced that. So yeah. And then another thing is, you know how back home, like when you're using, okay, obviously when you're using a cab, they know exactly where you're going, like you tell them. But when you're using like the combi and like taxi, no, not, yeah, and taxis actually, you wait by the stop and then you have to stop it like with your hand, like like when Camelo Mustafa. Here you cannot do that. You can't. You cannot. Also because once the bus sees you by the stop, it's going to stop whether you're going on it or not, because they're assuming you're standing there to get on the bus, you know what I mean? And then when you're inside and you want it to stop, there's like buttons, so you press the button and then it alerts the driver to stop at the next stop. So yeah. And then while we're still talking about that, people here actually obey traffic rules. I mean, obviously there's some who don't, like who just always drive recklessly and stuff, but most people here do obey traffic rules. And it's kind of insane to me. It's kind of insane. Why? Because the pedestrian crossings here, they actually work. Like if you are crossing at a pedestrian, the cars will wait for you. You know, back home you wait for the cars, because if you don't, you will be in hospital. But here they wait for you. And I've heard it's because like the fines and the charges are real. Like they will charge you money that could like help you make a living for your whole life if you ever hit someone with a car. And also even like tiny mistakes that they make on the road, like you get suspensions from driving. Like it's so insane. So I think that's why they do follow the rules and stuff. Yeah, so like I'm always, when I get to a pedestrian crossing, like I hesitate, because I'm like, those cars are coming, but shame, they're gonna slow down and they're gonna what you call it, they're gonna wait for you to cross. Yeah. And then the next one, I think this is number 4. Everything here is expensive. Like I was actually having a conversation with a friend the other day, and they were telling me that, sorry, it's what this kind of thing. They were telling me that, and this is something also that I've experienced, because when I'm still at home, everybody's just saying, everybody at home believes already you come hatching cheap. Guys, come here, you will experience it for yourself. That everything is expensive. It is super expensive. Like it's crazy. When you go to the shop, you come back, you gotta forget about that money. Like don't even think about, don't keep it. You know, sometimes at home, like I think about how I used to cry over 200 pila. Right now 200 pila is not money to me, because it's so crazy. And I feel like I've just been saying the negative things. A lot of people here are saying there's great food in Melbourne, and I do not disagree with that. There's a lot of options, a lot more options than at home. And like there's actual restaurants here. I think back home it's like most of the what we call restaurants, I don't know the actual English term for it, guys, don't judge me, but the restaurants that we call restaurants back home are mostly like fast food and stuff. But here, like there's a lot of actual like real proper restaurants that serve like proper food, and a lot of people are saying they have great food. I think the reason why I'm not part of the people saying that, it's not because I don't think the food is great, it's just I have a limited palate, so I struggle to adjust when it comes to food. Like I'm still struggling, but it's getting better. Like now I can eat things that I would have never thought I could eat. So yeah. Oh, guys, people when before I came here, all the research that I was doing was saying like people in Australia are nice. They forgot to say Australians are nice. Because ever since I came here, where I live right now is very international, people dense, and that's actually another culture shock. I didn't know many people leave their homes to go to school somewhere else, because it's like a lot. Like literally, I will meet an I always meet an international student. There's a lot of them here, a lot of us here, and yeah, because of that, I don't they're obviously at their home countries. I'm not saying that our home countries people are nice, but it's different from here. They're a little bit more reserved. So I haven't experienced that people are nice thing that people were talking about when they talk about Australia. But I do know that Australians are super nice, because I've met a couple of Australians at the market, at like places, at like shops, at the tills, the counters. And yes, like they will literally go out of their way to have a conversation with you and like ask you stuff. Like they're actually interested. So that's really nice. But I have bad experiences with people here as well. And those experiences are with people who are not Australians. Maybe the Australians by like citizenship, like by, but I mean like by descent. No, I've had like horrible experiences. I don't want to go into them that much, but like, okay, I'll talk about one. The first day I arrived here at the airport, somebody was supposed to come pick me up. And this was organized by my university for them to pick me up and drop me off where I'm supposed to, like here at my accommodation, because also I was arriving after hours. I arrived like at like 10 or something, and the office here closes at 7:30, I think, so that's after hours. So they organized all of that for me. When I got here, obviously they gave the guy the details, and guess what, this guy tells me that he doesn't have all night waiting for me, he has things to do. Lame. I don't want to talk about it, but yeah, like it was so like shocking. Like I just got here, I literally just arrived. But anyway, yes. And then oh, a big one is, excuse me, people keep time. People actually keep time. If they say 7 p.m, they mean 7 p.m, and if they're not gonna make 7 p.m, they will text you prior to that and be like, I can't make 7 p.m, can we postpone to 8? And it's such a shock to me. Like even like in class, you know, sometimes your class starts at 8, but you know that when you walk in at 8, the teacher is still setting up or what. When they say it starts at 8, they mean the lecturer starts speaking at 8. They don't mean we're settling in at 8, which is also kind of like, whoa, you know. But let me tell you, Africans are Africans. I was at like an Afro ball, so it's like an African event. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, it's an African event, and we got there quite late, like late, my friend and I. Guess what, it hadn't even started. We were there for an hour plus before it actually started, and I was like, huh, Africans will always be Africans. Oh, another thing, because you know, back home you can never leave the house and go back home. Like, but yeah, I've never ever been. Actually, I'm lying. I have once, but it wasn't even by an Australian. It wasn't a white person, which also was a shock. But yeah, I wanted to say I've never been catcalled. Like, and it feels so good. I watched a TikTok of a girl saying she misses being, she's in the US, I think, and she was like, she misses being catcalled. My dear, I don't want, I'm good. Because first of all, I must fight for my life every time I leave the house. No. So that's good. Like, I like that about you. And then Going back to the food thing, when you order like fast food, right? I don't think it's just fast. I don't know, but I have experience with fast food. When you order fast food, like you order McDonald's, you order whatever. You know, back home when you order chicken licken or you order KFC, um, there's a like the sauce, like the vinegar, the salt, all of that. It comes in the packet. Come here if you do not, if you don't click the option yahore you want the sauce, it's not coming. You are not gonna get sauce with your food. And can I tell you another thing? When I'm saying click the option, you don't just click and say include sauces. Baby girl, you pay for those little sessions. And it's like, oh my goodness, guys, why do I have to pay for everything? At this point, I couldn't be paying for the air that I breathe. But anyway, whatever. Oh, another one. I don't want to say there's no soil here. There's no soil. I was saying actually to someone, kana like it's windy here, but my allergies, they're fine. Why? Because there's no it's windy, but there's no soil or dust accompanying that wind. Literally, like right now, I'm looking outside and I can't see any soil. It's just pavement everywhere. And I think where there is soil, I don't know, I haven't seen it. There probably is, but I haven't seen it. And I make it a point to look for the soil, and there's no soil here. So yeah. And then the other thing is Australian slang. I haven't really hung out with many Australians. Like I told you, where I live, there's a lot of international students, but also I feel like you guys can hear me, and if you can't, I'm gonna be so upset because I've been filming this for such a long time. Anyway, Australians, I haven't hung around a lot of Australians, so I don't know much. I haven't heard of the Australian slang, and you see the lighting is changing. Can I tell you why? Because it's not cloudy, it's not sunny anymore. But anyway, yes, the Australian slang, like I was saying, the most common one that I've heard, and it always, like at first it took me by surprise, because like, what? So you know, at the store, after you pay for your things at the counter and then you leave and then you say thank you, and then they'll say thank you, and then they'll say see you later, and I'm like, I'm not gonna see you later though. And I'll say bye, and then they'll be like see you later, and it's just the thing that they say, like they'll just be like see you later, see you later. And I think slowly I'm starting to say that, and I catch myself in these moments where I'm like see you later, girl, please. But yeah, it doesn't mean the same thing to them, it just means like bye, you know. Yes. And talking about things that don't mean the same thing, I was talking to a friend as well, and she was telling me like, she mentioned something, and I'm like, oh yeah, right. You know how like sometimes when we're talking we be like, oh shame, and that's like when we're trying to analyze it, right? But when you're speaking English, you'll be like, oh shame, are you okay? Here, or like oh shame, I wish I was there, you know. But they don't use the word shame the same way we use it. They literally use it for what it means. So there's always a side eye when they hear us say that. And then YouTube, let's talk about YouTube, guys. When I got here, I'm like, okay, let me go on YouTube. I get on YouTube, and when I tell you that I was shocked to see ads. And some of them you can't even skip for YouTube, and you can't even save a video on YouTube. You know how like you can download what? You know how you can download a YouTube video so that it's available offline, so that when you're not connected to Wi-Fi or whatever, you can watch it. Here you can't do that unless you pay for YouTube Premium. You have to pay for your YouTube for you not to have the ads, for you to like be able to download videos and all of that. And it's always just like, that's so weird. Yeah, what else do I have here? Oh, okay. Also, there's this stereotype. Australia has a stereotype where like there's many animals, snakes crawling everywhere, spiders. And can I tell you something? I haven't seen any of those like ever since I got here. But I mean, to be fair, I haven't been here for a long time. It's been close to 2 months. So yeah, I haven't seen any of those. The most I've seen actually is worms. I've seen worms, and not even in disgusting amounts, like not in disgusting amounts. And if you know me, I hate worms. I've seen worms and I've seen snails, and it happens usually I see them like after it rains for a bit, then I'll just start seeing worms and like snails, and like I hate those things. But it's not even in a, oh my god, I'm never going anywhere anymore, you know. Yeah, but to be fair, I do acknowledge that I'm in Melbourne, and a lot of people are saying that like you won't really experience or see those things here in Melbourne. I think maybe up in Queensland, yeah, up, is it north? Yeah, up north, where it's like where it's a lot sunnier and stuff. That's where you'll see like the animals. But guys, it's not infested with snakes and animals and all of that walking around. You are not going to be walking and just see a snake. But like, I mean, here, I don't know. Yeah, but like that's my experience, and then church. Okay, so I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, and obviously church back home is so different. Like, it's so different in such a good way. In such an amazing way. Here, like, things are so different, and yeah, it's so, I don't know, I'm struggling to get used to it, but it's getting better. I just think also like singing in English all the time, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm struggling with that as well. And crazy, now that I brought that up, before I came here, I didn't know like how much English I'd have to speak, but I've been speaking English forever. I'm so exhausted, and like before I left, my parents were always like, hey, we go color Western, and in my head I'm like, parents, they're just excited. Guys, I miss speaking Stana so much. And like Ghana, you would think back home that's all I speak. No, I do speak English, but I have the luxury of switching, and I know whoever I'm talking to is going to understand me. Here I can't switch, and I found myself switch sometimes, and like my friends who are not Botswana, they'll be just like, oh god, and then I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Then I have to translate. But yeah, and talking about that, I did not know, this is something that I didn't know would happen. People literally can't say my name, and it pisses me off, okay? Like, and obviously I understand, because I know, listen, I understand if you can't say r, because not all of us are given the sound, right? Like, our tongues don't roll that way. It's like how sometimes you can't say like that click sound. We struggle to say that sometimes, but you'll never catch me, you will never ever catch me saying okay, but I can't say that, so I'm just gonna call you this. Like, excuse me, the number of people who have said that to me, you can't say my name, you and I'll be like, okay, and they'll be like, what's your name? I'll be like, Keseho. Let me give you, I think I have a couple of scenarios where this happens. One, I'll say, my name is Keseho, and they'll be like, oh, I can say that, what else can I call you? Talk about rude. Or I'll be like, my name is Keseho, and they'll be like, what? And I'll be like, Keseho, and they'll be like, how do you say that? And then I'll be like, Ke, and they repeat, and I say se, and they repeat, and I say ho, and then they repeat. They're like, oh, Keseho. I'm like, yeah. So some do try, but most of them are Africans. Those are the people who try, because people also can't say their names, so they understand how it is. And can I tell you, the number of people who had to change their names when they got here is kind of ridiculous to me. And like, you guys, I leave home, I'm Gesero. When I get here, I'm Emily, and you guys will be shocked. Guys, people can't say my name, but I haven't changed my name. You know, back home, my friends, some people call me Kissy, so I just tell them my name is Kissy. But here's another thing: people are just disrespectful. You can't say Gesero. Cool. I don't like drama. I don't want to fight. I don't have time to spend 10 minutes explaining how to say my name to you. So I'll be like, it's fine, you can call me Cassie. You are gonna go ahead and still butcher that. Like, now you're just disrespecting me. Now I don't even know what to call it. It's disrespect. And then talking about that as well, I didn't know how much. In the past 2 months, I've said Botswana more than I've ever said in my life. I didn't know how much I'd have to introduce myself and say where I come from. Everyone is like, oh, where'd you come from? Where'd you come from? And it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, I've said Botswana so many times, and that's another thing that actually pisses me off, because I'll say Botswana and then some people know, very few actually. I met a white guy at a restaurant, like he was the manager of the restaurant, and he's like, Botswana, oh my goodness, I love Botswana. And he just started talking about it like somebody who actually knows, not like he made it up or anything. And then I just meet other people who are like, oh, I don't know where that is, and that's fine. I understand, it's okay. I'll be like, yeah, not a lot of people knows where that is. It's a small country in Southern Africa, and that's like what I say. And then they'll be like, is it in South Africa? And I'm like, I literally just said it's a country in Southern Africa, and you're asking me if it's South Africa, and I'll say no, it's above South Africa, and you'll be like, oh, okay, same thing. No, it's not the same thing. It's not. The number of times people have asked me, are you South African? Oh. And no hate to South Africans, but I'm not South African. So at least, like, don't get that wrong, because I'm even telling you I'm not. So why don't you believe me? And then, oh, another thing that like kind of like blew my mind is people here, you know how like we always say, oh, British accent, American accent, French accent, Australian accent, Irish accent, like all these accents. And we just think we haven't, and we'll say, even in Africa, we'll say, oh, that's like a Zimbabwean accent, that sounds like a this accent, you know. Apparently we also have an accent that's like, people will be like, oh, I love your accent, and I'm like, girl, please. Please. And they do say we have an accent, and I think now, because I'm here, I can hear it sometimes. I'll be like, yay. Yeah, like I can hear it, but sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes I just think it's because people are not used to hearing the way that I speak, or that we speak here as Botswana. And yes, I think that brings me to the end of my video. Oh no, the last two things that I forgot, sorry, it's gonna be a long one. There's a lot of cults. People are nice, but be careful. There's a lot of cults, and like I have an experience with somebody who tried to pull me into one. There's a lot of cults here. You'll be walking and they'll just say, hey, what's your name? My name is Kisara. Where'd you come from? Oh, from Botswana. Oh, wada. And they'll be like, where'd you go to school? You say Monash University. They're like, oh, I go to Unimelb. Why are you the side of the city? Then like you do like a little chit chat, and they'll be like, we should grab some lunch together. And then you will go and grab that lunch, baby girl. Be careful. And then, but like at first, because I didn't know, and like she almost had me, but after some time, like now you know their script. They have the same script all the time. So yeah. And then the last one that I'm gonna close off with, there's a lot of drug using here, And like, you know how back home bagolo ba re kgalemela ba re hey kana ko mahatseng go di drugs ko mahatseng go di drugs. And I don't know if this is a polite word to use, but if it's not, I'm just gonna say it. But you can tell me that it's not polite in the comment section, and then I mean, I would have already said it, but like then I'll know. But they call them crackheads, and it's just a lot. The number of them here is ridiculous. You literally be on the train, and you sit down across from someone, can't they a crackhead, and they will start. Oh God. Or you'll just be in the tram and they're just outside screaming and making noise. It's so sad. It's really, really, really sad. And hush. But yeah, that's it. That's really all. How have I been doing? I'm okay. I'm just trying to adjust, still trying to adjust. I mean, I think 2 months is not enough to adjust to such a big place. But yeah, overall I am doing okay. I'm fine. I don't have a lot to complain about. I just miss home. I miss my family. I miss my friends. And yeah, even the people who have become family, I miss you guys so much. I do. It's a lot. But I'm so blessed to have my friends here with me. That people who I already knew from back home, and then there's friends that I met here as well, and they've been making this whole journey a lot more bearable. So yeah, thank God for that. But anyway, that's it. I hope if you are still here, if you watched till this part, to the end, I hope you liked the video. And if you didn't, please like it now while I'm waiting. Yeah. And yeah, this week's video is not a vlog because I needed a break. So but thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support, like I said in the beginning, and see you in the next one. Let me love and leave you my lovies. Bye. You can put 100 grand on it. Anything I said, I'll stamp on it. In a private plane, I'll lamp on it.